Moving, however, to our special focus on the show, and words really are inadequate to describe the depravity, the brutality of the men who on Sunday night in their private chartered bus were looking for passengers. Climbing onto that bus were a young 23-year-old medical student and her male friend after watching a movie at a popular mall. But then the nightmare began. This was just after 9 o'clock at night. Yet the girl and her friend were the only passengers on the bus. The staff of the bus first abused them, then beat them both with iron rods. The girl was then dragged into the bus cabin and raped repeatedly. Both of them were then thrown off the bus nearly an hour later. The men are sadists, say the police. They have impounded the bus and they say they've identified the men. The girl, meanwhile, is fighting for her life. She's had multiple surgeries through the night and is now on a ventilator in critical condition. Is this what India has come to? The bus, ironically, is used in the day to ferry school children. The staff include these same men.
Delhi has again lived up to its name of being the rape capital. A 23-year-old medical student was raped and beaten for 45 minutes before being thrown off a moving bus.
The girl, along with a friend, boarded a White Line bus like this at around 9:15. Around 4 to 5 men were already inside the bus. They started harassing her. When her friend tried to intervene, they beat him up with an iron rod. Later, they dragged the girl to the driver's cabin and raped her repeatedly. At 10:30, the two were thrown out of the moving bus and found here at the foot of the Mahipalpur flyover. The police discovered them in semi-naked conditions, from where they were taken to the Safdarjung hospital. At Safdarjung hospital, she was admitted here in the ICU. She continues to be on the ventilator. Doctors say that she's got blatant wounds and injuries on her face and on her abdominal. But the result will be only seen in a couple of hours.
It was a distance of 10 kilometers that the bus covered within half an hour, at the end of which the victims were dropped off near the Mahipalpur flyover. But the police lost valuable time in tracking down this bus because the initial call about this incident came from a Gurgaon resident who had seen both the victims lying on the road when he was passing by that area. So the police team first went to Gurgaon and then traced their way back to Mahipalpur. So that gave the criminals a window period of around 2 hours before the police could alert the checkposts about this bus.
ऐसा हमें नहीं लगता कि एक रेगुलर बस थी या कोई पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट था जो नॉर्मली people use जिसमें और लोग भी हों.
The police have questioned around 60 private bus operators and detained around 7 people, though no arrests have been made yet. They've also managed to gather some CCTV footage visuals from restaurants located near the area where the victims had been dropped off, but they have not got any major leads from it so far. They've also prepared 2 sketches of suspects based on the evidence given by the male victim.
मुझे ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट ने बताया है कि उनका लाइसेंस तुरंत कैंसिल कर दिया गया है.
पूरा इस पे जांच करा के सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई और जो हमारे सीसीटीवी कैमरास की बात चल रही है उसको हम जल्द से.
I don't feel like the death penalty is something to be called for here. I would rather they go to jail for 20 years and have to save community, labor and suffer for what they've done instead of taking the easy way out.
Yes, definitely the law should be filmed and the justice should be very quick. It should not take years and years for getting that justice.
These acts need to be given a a larger, a more severe punishment.
The first reaction would be scared. I'm very scared.
That bus in which this brutal crime occurred. Well, joining me tonight, I'm joined by Delhi's Women and Child Development Minister Kiran Walia. I'm also joined by someone from the Delhi Police, Mr. Ajay Chaudhary, ACP of the Southeast District of Delhi. I'm also joined by my other panelists tonight. I'm joined by Pinky Anand, a senior lawyer. I'm joined by Madhu Kishwar, professor at the Center of Research for Developing Societies. I'm also joined by Ms. Nirmala Samant, a member of the National Commission of Women, and Khushbu, DMK leader and outspoken activist. Thank you all very much for joining me tonight. Let me go across to the 2 people in charge in a sense, Kiran Walia and Mr. Ajay Chaudhary. Yes. Ms. Walia, Delhi is in this horrible position in a sense that it's very easy to pass the buck. Whenever something happens, the Delhi government says, look, ask the Delhi police. The Delhi police says we report to the Home Ministry, which is busy with much more important matters like India-Pakistan. Who cares about a young girl gang raped in a moving bus? The issue of accountability is a key one. And at the end of the day, this may be a larger issue of our society, but where does the accountability lie?
Well, we can't, we have to at least admit that there is a certain force which is meant to enforce law and order. Yet, I do believe that all the agencies have to come together and work together to put this most abominable act, to attend to this and to do away with it. It's been the perversion of the highest order. However, I've gone to the hospital, tried to see that, the doctors, I know that they're doing their best, but it seems it's extremely critical, which you have already mentioned about. But this also happens that it's not that it's, happening all the time in every bus, but it is a very serious issue, and that to avoid it, that it should never happen, we have to take some serious steps, and I do think that CCTV cameras would at least detect the crime and will be able to nab the criminals, because application of technology in nabbing the criminals is extremely important, and the fear should be instilled in the minds of anybody who's nurturing such an idea that he would be punished and can never go scot-free. However, in this particular case, the police seems to be acting, and but at the same time there is a Supreme Court decision that the staffers, the driver, the conductor, if they have not taken the bus to the police station and not even gone and reported, then they're as much guilty. And I think that we have to get into these finer points and ensure that everybody is punished.
Ms. Valia, you mentioned you actually went to the hospital earlier today. How is the young girl now?
No, she is very critical. She was, the doctors did tell me they did our best, because of the fact that the abdomen and the intestines are really not even in their place. She is really, they say that maybe that an instrument was inserted, or maybe that they, it's very, very cruel what they seem to only assess that what could have happened, that she has really, obviously any woman would resist, and in that resistance there has been a tussle, and she has really suffered a lot. It's very, very critical.
Mr. Chaudhary, the sheer brutality of this crime is something that Delhi hasn't seen for a while. What is the latest on the investigation so far, which you can share with us at the moment without compromising it?
Yes, you are right, absolutely right. That this is one of the most shocking incident that has taken place of late. And as far as the investigation is concerned, we have got very definite leads. The bus has been impounded, and very shortly you will come to know the names of the perpetrators of this worst kind of crime.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app, fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.